Now, I was pretty lucky to have seen this in theaters on the last day of its screening at my theater. And I'm happy I did. This was a pleasant surprise. Hello, everyone. My name is Erin James. This is a review of the movie A Different Man, written and directed by Erin. This movie is about Edward, played by Sebastian Stan, who undergoes a surgery, an experimental surgery, to change the way he looks. And his life changes for better or worse, depending on your perspective. This is a movie based on or inspired by an actual person, I would assume, because that person is in this film, and the way that person's face looks was used as a mold for a mask to put on Sebastian Stan. So that is why I'm making this assumption. I interpreted this movie in a few ways, including the grass is not always greener on the other side, to love who you are or how you are born and accepting who you are, and that your situations, life is what you make of your situations. This movie has some pretty good performances. I think it presented these themes pretty well. I think it has some very strong moments and some decent moments. The movie stumbles halfway through, and I mean, it was one of the messiest stumbles ever that got me worried about the second half of the film. And so for a good 10 to 15 minutes, I was thinking, okay, this movie's gone off the rails and it's not sure what direction it's going. And I feel that I am wrong in that it did know where it was, and maybe the writer was not unsure of how to get there. So we have this moment that we're trying to transition and we kind of do a time jump. I don't think it was that big of a time jump, but a good amount to tell that this person's life has changed, and things have changed, just not about how the world sees them, but how he sees himself. At the same time, how he sees himself has not changed as much. This movie did remind me a bit of the film The Substance, where we have one character wanting to change how they look, change their life, and how the world sees them. And in doing so, things kind of go awry, things go wrong. However, the aftermath or the newer them does approach things differently or experiences life differently between these two characters, one from a different man and the substance. I think one being a woman, one being a man does have an effect or impact on that, because the themes presented in the substance are specific to women, and a different man not as much. However, you can assume that because of the gender, of course, just in this life, things are going to be different for them. And it reminded me a bit of The Substance because there was a moment where I thought there was going to be much more body horror in this film. There is a moment here where we get something gross, and I was smiling and a bit chuckling because I was like, are we going to have this here? And that's the only time we ever get it. Still, overall, this movie I think is a pretty good watch. It's a relatively slow burn, especially with some moments you feel it. But I think you can end up enjoying this film overall. Until next time, y'all take care of each other, check up on one another, make sure you check up on yourself, and remember, potential has no limit.